the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33 and verse 7. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. All right, I'm going to stop right there. I want to start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. The Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. Shalom to 144,000. It's the brother Amawan Padah from the GMS Denver camp, coming at you with another lesson. And Shabbat Shalom, by the way, the new Sabbath is coming in. Okay. And I just want to go in pretty much on the previous topic that I mentioned in my last video, which is, the fact that these false prophets are not giving warning to their congregation on the impending danger, man. They're not giving their people the understanding of prophecy, all right? The things that are set to happen, in these last days, man. The Lord has set up certain watchmen to give his people, the Israelites, you 12 tribes, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and even you Israelite foreigners that look like the other nations, but by your father's seed line, you go back to being one of the 12 tribes of Israel. We're here to give you warning on what the Lord has purposed to take place in the earth, man. Okay? That is our job as the watchmen, right? So, I want to get into one of the main things that's going to take place, okay, before it's all said and done with, before our Lord Yahweh Shai returns, all right? And it's going to be the destruction of America, Babylon the Great, by way of thermonuclear fire, all right? They're not teaching their congregation that that's going to happen, all right? They're not teaching them how they're going to be saved out of it either, all right? They're giving them a feel-good message, you know what I'm saying? Begging for tithes and all this stuff. Asking for donations to the building fund. You know what I'm saying? They're not telling them what's getting ready to take place, man. So without further ado, let's get into it, man. Let's get into Isaiah 34th chapter, all right? So here we have it right here. The heavily prophetic, all right, book of Isaiah, the 34th chapter, all right? It goes into the impending judgment upon America, Babylon the Great, and the inhabitants of America, Babylon the Great that are not of the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, it goes into the judgment of the heathen nations, okay, which is not being talked about in the so-called Christian churches, the Catholic churches. All right, they're not going into this, man. If they are, they're not going into it properly. So without further ado, let's get into it. We go into this all the time, but let's just go ahead and break it down because, like I said, the time is short, and we got to give warning to our people. So let's go ahead and start with Isaiah 34 and verse 1. It says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter." So what is that talking about, man? It's talking about the fury that's going to be unleashed upon the heathen nations. Why is that? Because they've afflicted the Lord's chosen people, the Israelites, man. So we're in the time of the judgment of the nations. It's going to be carried out in the midst of what you call World War III, which is already heating up. You see? All right, that's what's gonna take place. That's why all these heathen nations are getting ready for war. Okay. Matter of fact, let's go and get a precept on that matter real quick. All right, so here we have another heavily prophetic book. All right, book of Joel, and this is the 3rd chapter in particular. And I'm gonna start at verse 1. I'm gonna jump around, for time's sake, man. You should read the entire book of Joel, but I'm gonna start at verse 1. So this is Joel chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem." It's talking about the Lord taking us out of captivity. All right. pork chop eating ass pastors don't go into this right here. They don't let you know that the 12 tribes are currently in captivity and that the end of their captivity is at hand. All right. And it comes with World War III taking place, man. Okay. Verse 2, it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right. And the way you say that in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shaphat. Yahweh Shaphat. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, and Shaphat means judgment. So it means the place of the Lord's judgment, the valley of the Lord Yahweh's judgment. Okay. And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. You see, we were in captivity underneath these heathen nations, man. And so now they're going to be punished for it, man. Okay. The chief of the heathen being Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the Edomites. They're going to receive the worst and harshest judgment out of all the heathen nations in these coming days. Okay. Because of what they've done unto who? The Lord's chosen people, the Israelites. Okay. Verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people, right? Possessive pronoun, showing you that we belong to who? Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. And have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. And they done that, man. They sold our people, all right? You know, they used them as bargaining chips and whatnot. Slutted our women out, you know what I'm saying? All type of different things, man. All type of atrocities were committed upon our people in these heathen captivities, man. The worst one being underneath Esau, Edom. He's offended the greatest out of all nations. Though the Lord is getting ready to put a foot of all these heathen nations' ass in these coming days, Esau's gonna get the worst, man. Point blank, period. Okay? But let's jump down. I want to jump down real quick. This is Joel 3 and verse 10. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. What is this talking about? All right. This is talking about the Lord calling these heathen nations to gather up their resources for war, man. All right. To pretty much, you know, take their focus off of agriculture and things like that and gear that money towards this war that's coming up. All right. And it says, let the weak say I am strong. What is that talking about? That's talking about these weaker nations, all right, now arming themselves, all right, with nuclear missiles, man. Because that's how World War III is going to end. It's going to end in nuclear destruction, man. The total obliteration of America, all right, it's going to be burnt up by way of thermonuclear fire, man. Why is not TD Jakes and these other, you know, fathead, you know, Christian pastors not talking about this? Why ain't Joel Osteen talking about this? And you can name all the other mega church pastors, man, and even your local Baptist church, your local Catholic priest, they're not talking about this here, man, because they're not the men of the Lord, man. Point blank, period. All right. But here at Great Millstone, we break down the prophecies, man, as we've been commanded to do. And this is talking about the heathen nations being armed with nuclear weapons. And Russia is arming its allies with weaponry in these last days. All right. And Russia's going to be the main one that takes America out. But anyway, let's continue on. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Right, these other nations outside of the nation of Israel, they're the heathen. And gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. So the Lord is calling these heathen to assemble for battle. And you see what's going on over there with Greenland. Okay. You see what's going on with Greenland and all these other NATO nations preparing to go up against America, man. All right, that's spoken of in Obadiah 1 and verse 7. It's all in the scriptures, man. Everything is playing out exactly how the Lord intended it to, man. And certain men have that understanding. So call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. He's given us the understanding to not only see the prophecies, but also preach them, man. And, you know, blessed be your ears for that here, man. Speaking to you, sincere Akim and Akwaf out there that can understand. Because everybody can't understand prophecy, okay? So yeah, man, and it says cause thy mighty ones to come down. That's going into the angels. The angels are the Lord's mighty ones, man. They're going to be incorporated into this final battle, man. All right, the battle of Armageddon, aka World War III. And that word Armageddon, when you go into the Hebrew, it means mountain of troops, because all these nations are going to go to war, man. They're gathering together right now at the command of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, because he controls the minds of every soul. All right, he's causing these heathen leaders to get ready for war, man. Nobody resists the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, one more. Let's read this one. Verse 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Yeah, man, they finna obliterate each other in World War III. All right, you understand? And our Lord Yahweh Shah is gonna show up in the midst of it, man. Okay, you see what I'm saying? That's what's gonna happen. We're just telling you before it happens. All right. So back in Isaiah 34, okay, we're talking about how the Lord is gathering the heathen for World War III. Okay, all their armies. You see, they're gonna be destroyed, especially when Yahweh Shah shows up. Now, verse 3, it says, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. A lot of dead bodies, man. All right. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from off the vine, and as the falling fig from the fig tree. All right. When it says the heaven shall be dissolved, or the host of heaven shall be dissolved, it's talking about all the fighter jets, all right, and all those things that you see up there in the upper atmosphere, the satellites, the what else, the drones, all that's going to be dissolved, man. Okay, when those thermonuclear missiles are detonated. And also when the chariots, the angels of the Lord get activated, they're going to be taking out Esau's technology as well, man. All right. But when it says the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, that's talking about the nuclear mushroom cloud, man. Because when you look at the mushroom cloud, the top of it, it unfolds in on itself, man, like a scroll being rolled up. All right. So Isaiah had to use the terms that he was familiar with, man. Okay. He couldn't come out and say, oh, a mushroom cloud, because they didn't have that term back then. They didn't know what nuclear missiles were back then. He just wrote down the vision that he was given in the spirit, man. Okay. So let's see, verse 5, it says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So what does that mean? What does that mean right there? Let's get into it. Okay, so when it says my sword shall be bathed in heaven, that's talking about the nuclear missiles being shot up into the upper atmosphere, all right? Because the upper atmosphere is considered the first heaven, all right, the sky, all right? It's going to come down upon Idumea. What is that talking about? Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom, all right? And Edom is a people before it's a place. It's talking about America, Babylon the Great. This is the main hub of the Edomites, man. America, Babylon the Great. All right, this land is going to be completely destroyed by thermonuclear fire in the midst of World War III. Okay, and I don't know why, but I guess these pastors don't think that that's important. Okay, verse 6, the sword of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So this is talking about the people of the land here in America. All right, you have the blood of lambs and goats that's going into the Israelites being the lambs, the goats being the heathen that are here. They're going to be likened into a burnt sacrifice, man. Okay? America is one big ass altar and it's getting ready to be ignited, man. And you people who are not of the elect, are you Israelites who are not of the Lord's chosen, you're going to be part of that sacrifice. That's a burnt offering. All right? So, verse 7, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. Okay, we go to that word dust. It means confusion, but it's talking about the people being destroyed here, man. Okay, they're likened unto animals being destroyed, being burnt. Verse 8, for it is the day of the Lord Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. Zion is synonymous to the Israelites, the 12 tribes, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you Israelite foreigners out there, man. All right, because of what the heathen have done unto us, all right, over all these generations, all right, they're getting ready to pay for everything they've done, man. They don't get away, all right, they're not getting away, all right, and it's all coming to a head here in these last days, man. Verse 9, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch. That's talking about like tar. All right, why is that going to be a thing? Because you got to realize the intensity of the heat, all right, of those missiles when they detonate, man. It's going to cause everything to melt, man. It's going to cause the elements to melt with fervent heat, all right, as it tells you in 2 Peter 3. Okay, so it's going to be turned into burning tar, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch, man. This whole entire landmass is going to be on fire, man. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever, meaning for a long time. Eventually, it's going to go out, man. The fire's going to be out at some point in time, but it means a long period of time it's going to be burning. From generation to generation, it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. So that means that nobody will inhabit this place anymore when it's all said and done with. America's going to be a monument for those who will live ungodly, man. So the rest of the world to understand that's what happens when you fuck with the Lord, man, and his people. Okay? The Lord is going to make a statement with the destruction of America. And ain't nobody going to be able to live here no more, man. Verse 11, but the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, which are animals. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. Meaning, there's not going to be any more state lines. You're not going to have any more, signs that say welcome to New York or welcome to Kansas or shit like that. It's going to be completely obliterated, man. Okay? Ain't gonna be no buildings left. You see what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be no stores that are still standing. No, it's gonna be completely dissolved, man. Verse 12, they shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. All right, meaning, you're gonna have survivors of the Edomites in other parts of the world, man, because you're gonna have, those wicked elite in their bunkers in Europe and other parts of the world outside of America, and they're gonna get the news of America being destroyed, man. Ain't gonna be nobody here to contact. All right. Verse 13. And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be an habitation of dragons and a court for owls. Meaning unclean desert animals will live here. No humans will set up shop here anymore. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow, which is an animal. The screech owl also shall rest there, and find for herself a place of rest. There shall the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch, and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, every one with her mate. Okay, unclean birds. Verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. From my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. This is talking about none of the prophecies are going to fail, man. Everything that's written in here is going to happen, man, including the entire country of America being destroyed, man. All right, and also other parts of the globe will be hit with nukes, but they will be built back up. America's going to be the only place that doesn't get built back up, man. Okay? All these end time prophecies are going to come to pass, man. All right? But the Christian church ain't talking about this, man. They talking about God bless America, pray for America. They're going against the scriptures, man, which makes them antichrist. It makes them anti-messiahs. So we're telling you Israelites to come out of these Christian churches, man. They don't know what the hell is going on, man. Verse 17, we'll finish it off with this. It says, and he hath cast a lot for them, and his hand hath divided it unto them by line. They shall possess it forever. From generation to generation shall they dwell therein. Let's talk about the animals, man, not the people. Okay, there'll be no more people here when it's all said and done with. Even those deep underground military bunkers, they got, some of those here in Colorado, man, the Cheyenne Mountain bunker or whatever. All right, that's going to be dissolved, man. All the Edomites and you jakes that are in the military that try to, scurry into those bunkers, going to be cooked in those bunkers if you're on the soil of America, Babylon the Great. So, hey, man, now's the time to turn back to Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua, because the only way that we're going to make it out of this thing is if the Lord Yahushua saves us and takes us up into the heavens, man. As it tells you in Matthew 24. All right, talks about that, how the Lord is going to send his angels to gather the elect from the four corners of the earth to be joined with the Lord. Okay, and also other parts of the scriptures talk about that, man. How the Lord is going to come, all right, and say, come up hither, man, and the elect, the chosen of our nation, are going to rise up into the heavens to have their bodies changed, man, to be saved from the coming destruction, man. All right, why isn't the Christian church talking about that, man? Instead, they're giving you that false doctrine about a pre-tribulation rapture. Preparing you for the slaughter, man. They're not getting you ready, man. But hey, man, time is short, man. Get this understanding while you still can, man. Because we're at the end of this thing. We're in the last seconds of the game. All hell gonna break loose. And if you ain't got the understanding by now, all right, hey, you need to get busy, man. And watch the videos while you still can, because as we know, man, they're getting ready to shut this internet down. They're getting ready to lock it down, man, when it comes to free speech and whatnot, man. And you ain't gonna be able to hear the understanding. You're not gonna be able to receive the understanding of the scriptures, man. All right, the famine of the word is coming about, man. A prophecy spoken of in Amos chapter 8 and verse 11. But I'm gonna end it right there, man. The point has been made. Lord willing, I'll come back with some more end time prophecy, man, to prepare you hopeful elect out there for what's coming. All right. So I'm in this lesson right here. I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah, Kodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bashmi Yahushai.